Hello everybody. We have a game against Studia 95, rated 1437. We're going to try to get a Jobava London on the board. Okay, he starts with a very early bishop f5, so I'm going to change up the move order and play f3 first. Why f3 first? Because if he doesn't play knight f6, then he's not stopping our e4 pawn advance. And so instead of harassing with g4, we can harass with e4, gaining the coveted pawn duo, right? And now our center's better, and we're not going to have any problems, and we're good. This pawn is currently hanging. Let's develop and defend it. And now look at our position, looks great. He tries to get a pawn presence in the center. Doesn't this hang a pawn? Or am I crazy? We could take this pawn, we could push. If we push, where does the knight go? Let's say it goes back. Then this hangs in the center. If the knight goes anywhere, this pawn hangs in the center, and the bishop is attacked. My opponent proposes a take back. We'll give it to him. I was going to push, but we'll give him the take back. Want to make these videos as interesting as possible, and if the opponent blunders a move 6, it's less interesting. So he moves the bishop again, pins the knight, which threatens my pawn. So I'm going to bring out another piece and over defend the pawn. He takes the knight, but I'm just going to take back with the pawn. I guess that was his thing. He thinks that this structure is bad for my king, but in this scenario I'm perfectly fine. My bishop's here to block any checks. I'm not going to suffer. Okay, so now he goes here. Now I can't win the pawn, but I still can kick the knight from its best square. And I have a much stronger center. 2 minor pieces on good squares. Open bishop. He doesn't have that stuff. So he goes here, but it looks wrong because it looks very natural to kick it. And then where does it go? Here? It's a bit much. So let's kick it off of our side of the board. And when it goes here, if we throw in this check, he cannot block the diagonal with a minor piece. So if he wants to save his king, he has to play this. What do we have there? We have pawn takes pawn with threats. He throws in check. We take with the rook. He can't take our pawn because the knight hangs. If he moves the knight, everything else hangs. So I think bishop b5 is winning. If you take the knight, I mean that's just a good structure for you, but because he can't put a minor piece on d7, I think this is just stronger. Okay, he does do this, but I think this just wins. Oh. But the knight's hanging as well as the exchange. But if we take here, he has to move his king. So let's go for the exchange in light of that. It's not for the rook. It's for the fact that his knight's still on a terrible square and his king just blocked everything. Can we take advantage? Well, his knight covers that. We could give him this check. That way he doesn't get the queen trade. But do we want his king to move? It can go here. This is so bad for him. Let's take this first. He can't even queen trade unless he gives up the whole rook, so he has to take the bishop, whether he likes it or not. Okay, we could definitely throw in this check, but maybe he goes back and it somehow helps him in a weird way. So there's different moves like this, threatening check. That's good. This is good. This is good. Here, if king back by itself voluntarily. Not my favorite. So let's jump it this way and give him the check so we get another turn after this one. Maybe we can lift the queen because that also comes with a threat. What other threats do we have? This is easily stopped. This is hanging. So this threat, queen e2 is not as good. So I kind of like this because if the knight moves, he hangs the queen. If he defends the knight, he still hangs the queen because let's say you defend it, I'm going to take it. And then I pick up the knight, right? Tactics. And so now I'm up a rook and a pawn. He brings the bishop here, but after long castle, it's pinned. And I have a wonderful position. Okay, he ignores the fact that I just pinned his bishop and will win it next turn by applying further pressure. Oh wow. Quick resignation. Center. Center. Development. Force move. Development and center. Development and center. Force move. Force move and improving move for free. Improving move for free. Development. King safety. And for free. Free stuff. Free stuff. For free. Free stuff. Improving move for free. Improving move for free. Free stuff. Free stuff. So that was fast. We're going to try to get another game in. Hopefully. Against Piazzo Eduardo. Rated 1472. So let's get a caro-kann on the board and see if we can make this a quick 2-in-1. Hey, we get the advance, which we're happy to see because I like playing that. We bring out a piece outside of our pawn chain. He gets very aggressive with the pawns, but it opens up the dark squares in his territory a little bit. So there's that. Let's just close the pawn chain with e6. He brings out the knight. You have a number of moves here, from developing any of your minor pieces to even a potential c5. There's lots of options. What do we want to do? We'll just get our knight here. Little extra piece support in case we want to play c5 and he goes something like c4. I'll hold off on c5 for now. You could play it early in lots of lines, and a lot of times it's the best move, but it's also the most dangerous move for yourself. So my opponent proposes a take back, so I'll give it to him. I mean, knight here. Okay, he wants to change it to knight here, which is weird because now he can't play c4. If he can't play c4, c5 looks a lot better. Maybe he wants to try to jump in here, but I don't really buy that. So let's go c5. He can't go c3 or c4, so that's kind of my cue to play it now and not wait. Okay, so he supports the square with his bishop. allowing us to close down the structure if we want. We could also take if we want. His bishop left the defense of this pawn. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. You can kind of do whatever you want, I feel like. I don't know how good c4 is. I don't know if you ever really want to close this. So I'm not going to. This may look weird, but I'm going to spend an additional turn on this bishop. And the reason is because his knight controls these dark squares very nicely. And my bishop is really nothing but a target of attack in the future. My opponent proposes a take back. How many takebacks does this guy not know how to click? It's not that hard. So he hits the bishop, and my plan was to give it up. And that gives me further control over this square. Why do I want further control over this square? So that when I take, he can't take with a knight. He has to take with a bishop. If he took with the knight, it would have hit my bishop earlier. But now he has a piece here. He didn't play c3 and doesn't have a pawn there. So I'll always have good play on the queen side now. So now I can keep developing with more normal stuff. Bishop out. Makes a lot of sense. Knight here. Rerouted here. And you could see how everything is kind of on this side. He moves his queen again. For some reason he wants his queen here. That's a little weird. But I'm not forced to take on this particular turn. He can't move his bishop. So let's develop a new piece and look at some squares. He could have taken, and when we take, he gives us this check, hitting our knight and this pawn. That was an option, but if we move back and he takes, rook over, gives you some infiltration. Not sure that works for him. So anyway, he reinforces the diagonal, which I guess he could have done last turn. Not sure why he did this. He's also walking into this, so it really doesn't make sense. He's not really looking at my last move and the forward jumps. Because if we go knight f5, he has to move his queen, and then his bishop hangs. So this loses the game on move 12. These are 1500s, guys. You know, legit players, and they just hang pieces left and right. I hang pieces left and right too, so your opponents definitely hang a lot of stuff, and you can take advantage of it. So my intention was to go to c6, but due to the circumstances, I chose a different square. So he moves his queen. And now, if we take with the knight, doesn't have any good forward jumps. You could move it back, though. If we take with the bishop, he'll probably kick the knight. Then you can trade some stuff, but let's just take with the knight. It's easier. Maybe, I don't know, that doesn't do anything. You just go back, but so he's down a piece and goes here, but that's covered. So I'm just going to take that piece. It's not hanging, like he'll get it back, but I'm not going to let him. I don't even know what he was trying to do, but I'm not going to let him do it anyway. Queen out makes a lot of sense. Hitting his bishop, creating a battery. Castling probably makes even more sense. Yeah, let's just castle. It's much more logical to unpin the knight first. C3, I guess he wants to kick the bishop. Not really sure. So let's go A6 and say, what are you doing with this guy? He goes back. So now we get to expand for free, which we like. He goes all the way back, but the bishop's not doing anything there. So, I mean, if we go queen here and he kicks us, you could go here, but we're up a piece. You can do whatever you want, right? So what I want to do is just go A5. It's like the minority attack, but it's also prophylaxis against B4. So now we can play B4 and ignore whatever he's doing because there's nothing here. And we are up a piece, so we don't need to do this. We can do a lot of things. But even if material was even, we'd probably try to do something like this anyway. So let's take and create that weakness. And there's the resignation. Unless he wants a take back for the 1000th time. So let's get a little analysis. We get the caro-kann advance. Most theoretical move is to bring the bishop out. Development and center. Coincidence? And then we have center, development. Development, center. Center and development for this knight. Improving move, it's not for free, but that's why you don't need to do it. There's plenty of other moves. If we turn on the engine, you can see all of them. Rook c8, develop that piece, develop your knight, develop your queen. You can even close the structure, it says, but I don't really like playing those. It's weird. I hate when you just play on the last two rows. It's not fun. But it is a possibility. We have 1 inaccuracy, 93%. Not bad. Anyway, we just go here to control the dark squares in the center since we really want to target the d4 square. Force move. And then we just trade knowing he cannot take with a c-pawn and it opens up. So it's development. I don't get it. What's the big deal if he takes? We take, and what's his move? His best move is bishop b5 check. Bishop b5 check. Knight back, let's say. Long castles. Okay, knight out. Immediate f5. The only move. So this specific line, immediate f5. You're not allowed to take apparently, because he has this weird. Okay, I'm not going down this. Very weird line. Playing f5 immediately, and yet you have to. Okay, so my one inaccuracy is this bishop because of the weird computer line. So I guess the alternative is to develop your knight first and just be a little better developed, but it's definitely a fine move. Let me turn these off because I can't see. So he goes here, development and center, and the game is even. Then he just blunders and it's -5. So it was even for for like 11 moves. And then he totally just throws the game because of this. He moves the queen, hangs the full piece, so free stuff. Trades are free. King safety and development. Improving move for free. Gaining space for free. Minority attack. Minority attack. Minority attack. Free queen. So that's where the train of thought comes from. And pretty simple. Just bring out your pieces and you'll be fine. Eventually play c5 and hope white is not a computer. So good luck in your chess. Submit your rapid games in my Discord. I'll see you next time.